say no. Anything that you face or you're starting with, you should always have a positive attitude. Why positive attitude is because if you say that I cannot do this, anyone comes, you won't be able to. At least just keep some belief in yourself that, hey, I can do this. So you get a positive motivation and you start working on that.
Right. Hello everyone, welcome back to another series of podcasts. This is Chandan Palwar from Growjunction. I welcome you all to gonna be insightful strategy and planning focused podcast that is again powered by Growjunction. Today we have one of the interesting personalities with us, Mr. Aman Lunawat, a results-oriented growth catalyst and effective leader with proven ability to thrive in emerging global startups. He has demonstrated track record of effectively recruiting and managing the team, competitive and curious by nature, and loves to take up new challenges head on. With over 3 years of experience in building, reflecting valuable experience and outstanding performance in customer experience, process excellence, product, customer insights, research, marketing, and business operations. He has completed his Btech honors in electrical engineering in 2019. So this was as per the educational path. Now coming forward, let's unite together and welcome Mr. Aman on board with all of us.
Hey Chandan, thanks for the warm welcome. I would say and to the viewers also, I would say thanks for the great intro that you have told, 3 years of experience and lots of things like consumer experience and lots. So most of it you have covered, I would say. But yeah, to add on few things I want to add to my viewers are basically okay. So I'll just start with the normal intro, from where I am and currently where I'm working on, what is my journey experience in last 3 years, from scratch to going up a valuable or startup, how I started my journey, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
So we can begin post you completed your Btech honors, so we can begin from there.
Sure. Okay, so if I talk about India, every people would like to go to Btech, electrical engineering, MBA, and lots of things, right? So I was also one of them who started with, okay, I want to go do some Btech, electrical engineering. And during my journey of Btech, I figured out, okay, this is not something that I want to go into the electrical domain. And then I chose a different startup line. And I thought, okay, something sales is good for me. So first job, if I talk about my first job, it was in Byju's as a business development associate. And it was a short journey, but I learned a lot from the Byju's, how to deal with people, sales, and lots of things. But later I figured out, okay, this is not my task. This is not my job. I'm not learning anything. And it's good to go ahead. Because see, at every time there is a saturation period, I will tell, right? So once you start, okay, this is the point, you started from here, you moved to here, right? So then I joined Zomato as an operations team. I was looking for a part of operations, supply operations for Ahmedabad city. I learned a lot there also. And then, after a quick change, after 6 months change, I moved to Uber. So I was working with Uber India as a team, as a customer specialist analyst. And then I moved to Asia team. And yeah, I would say that was my learning phase where I learned a lot from my managers, lots of people, and lots of things, I would say. And recently, I would say I joined Foodpanda as an APAC team into central operations. I'm leading a team of 6 people here. It's basically I have my analysts, data analysts, interns, and lots of things. So I look end-to-end vendor experience part of APAC Foodpanda. So it's basically might be I will just give a quick intro about what Foodpanda is actually, right? So Foodpanda is a quick commerce company. Everyone might be knowing that, okay, in India also there was Foodpanda. They shut down their business. They left away from India. What was the reason behind this all, right? But to add on few things, it's not about what you wear, right? So when you join a company now, Foodpanda is the parent company of Foodpanda is Delivery Hero. And Delivery Hero is the biggest quick commerce company across globe. And we have around 70 countries. We are in 70 countries where we have different entities like Talabat, Pedidosia, and lots of entities are with us in the journey of empowering quick commerce, the technology, and lots of things, right? So as entity Foodpanda, I'm working with them as a central operations team, handling end-to-end experience part, understanding the VNPS drivers, how to come up with vendor experience side of vendors, what is good for vendors, what is not good for vendors, coming up with product insights. So that is something which I would say, like, what I have learned from across like last 3 years is basically you get one thing daily to learn something, I would say. Every day is a challenging task for you because when you work with some data, or let's say when you want to really understand the pain point of some vendor or some customer, you really need to think from that lens, I would say. It's not something that, hey, I'm not facing this issue, then no one is facing that issue, right? You really need to make your skill set that, hey, might be this is something a right approach. You have to think. One approach cannot be always a good fit, I would say. So it should be one approach, two approach, or three approaches. So you need to, so that is where you use your mind, you brainstorm with different people to understand their ideas, perspective, and what exactly they think about it, right? So this is more of like my journey, I would say, like how it started and currently where I'm working, I would say.
I think it's quite interesting to know, to hear about this, your journey, 3 years of experience. So why Btech honors from electrical engineering to something that is into management domains?
Okay, yeah. So that is something like I was saying that, okay, like from a childhood, like I had an idea that, hey, I want to do some mechanical engineering. I want to build a car that can run on water and lots of things, right? And then like all of you know, like when we start our journey after 10th, you will go somewhere, Kota or Mumbai or something, you will join Allen, Bansal classes and lots of things, right? So I was one of the person who joined Allen. And like 11th, I was doing well. So as a studious person, I won't say I was a studious, like, yeah, as an average person, I would say, I won't say, hey, I am like 90% a topper or something, right? So like during that time in Ellen, I figured out, hey, something like, okay, electrical is something really interesting where you will see lots of things, you will learn lots of things. In daily life, you can use it and how experience it, right? So then I thought, okay, let's go in Btech. And then I joined Btech in electrical engineering, right? The journey was tough. I was not able to clear any IITs or NITs and lots of things, right? Because again, like average person, because during my time, it was like, hey, boards, IIT, JEE marks, combination of 40-60%. And that, because when you go and competitive exams, you think it from that side, right? And the problem, the same, I also faced it. Like I was only thinking for MCQ question answering, solving problems, right? And during my papers of 12th grade also, I would say like, I did the same thing and yeah, the results were not good, but everything happens for good, I would say, like for some good cause it happens, right? If you're not going this journey, something is there good for you and then you join, right? So then I joined Btech in electrical engineering. Few like first year, second year, like it was so smooth. I was like learning a lot. My interest was still I wanted to go because the problem with the domain that I selected, electrical engineering, was like, okay, there are no private jobs, right? So as a person, if you are into electrical engineering, you go CAT or you go for MBA things or you go for GATE, right? So it's like you go for PSUs and lots of things, right? So my interest or focus was not that build up, right? Because from starting always, I was like, hey, BTech is done. I'm done with my studies. I don't want to go ahead with GATE exams or clear some exams, again learn and lots of things, right? So that was something which changed my mind altogether. Hey, this is not something for me. Electrical is not something for me. Private jobs are not there. Even if I go, I won't be earning that good because it takes a time to go at a stage to learn lots of things, right? So then during my third year of my BTech, I thought, okay, this is something where my interest, which I have developed. So how did I involve or understood my experience is in marketing or management or operations and lots of things, right?
Exactly.
So during college, I was so involved in events, I would say. So that is something like in first year, I was like, I won't be taking any leaves or I will be going to regular classes and lots of like every person does this, I would say, like right. When they join college or they will bunk classes and lots of engineering people do that also. But I was at a different level, I would say, like I used to go college 100% attendance and lots of things, right?
Okay.
But when I started joining, meeting new people, I started joining some communities, how they are working, how startups are working, because see, in recent 5-6 years, the startup evolution has grown from 0 to on a scale of 100, I would say. Like lots of startups are coming, even few young entrepreneurs are jumping into this. They are having lots of ideas and lots of things, right? So this is where I involved into events. I used to go on Research in Rajasthan was my first event, I would say. So I really met great people of India, the business people of India during Research in Rajasthan. So it was a global summit that happened in Jaipur, Rajasthan, where investors came and they invested lots of money in globalization, industry setups and all, right? So I really learned that, hey, this is something like when you meet people, you learn from their experience, you talk. And then I figured out, hey, this is something I can really communicate with people easily. I have that skills or calibers to talk to people, convince them, and do what I like.
Okay.
Right. So that event journey, that life has changed. And then I started working in Zoomcar as an intern. So how Zoomcar internship also was like a coincidence, I would say. So I was working as an event head, right? I was event head for sports cultural. So I used to deal with sponsors, right? So I used to meet different people, get sponsorships, and from there I built a connection. See, you can link it. Every individual, you have to think when he can be useful. No one knows that this person is correct for me or not, right? Whenever the time comes, you feel the need, hey, this person might be helpful for me, right? So that is what I have learned always, that you should not say that this person is not useful for me or this person is not useful for me, right? Every person is good at his place and might be useful for us at any point of the time, right? So during sponsorship, I met someone, the state head of Zoomcar, and then later he pinged me. He personally pinged me and asked me, hey, we have a role. Would you like to take this up? Because we saw you that you are so much energetic. You are always there. So few things I would say to my viewers also. I would just quote few things like, never say no. Anything that you face or you're starting with, you should always have a positive attitude, I would say. Why positive attitude is because if you say that I cannot do this, anyone comes, you won't be able to do it. At least just keep some belief in yourself that, hey, I can do this. So you get a positive motivation and you start working on that.
Right.
So my Zoomcar internship started, and then I was working for 3 months in Zoomcar. As in marketing, I launched few cities for Zoomcar, like Udaipur, Jaipur. I did marketing stuff and lot. But during that time also, right, it was a final year, and then placement drives, pressures from parents, hey, where you are getting a job, because it's easy for an IT people to get a job, like Wipro comes or Cognizant comes and lots of things come, right? And as I told, I was not good at coding, I would say. I was never interested in data analytics and like SQL and lots of things were there, right? Which data-oriented people do. And I was like, whenever I used to see heavy data, my mind would go blank. Hey, I'm not able to do this. This is not my cup of tea. I will skip that part, right? I used to do some jugaad wala thing, right? You know, in India, things are on jugaad, right? If you don't know something, you skip that and go ahead. So that is what I used to do. Okay. But during placements, like, you know, your friends are getting placed. Hey, I got placed here. I got this package, X package, Y package, Z package. But then, okay, I thought, okay, this is something where I really need to go. Okay. And, you know, like if you compare IITs and ARM college, right? IITs, you get a lot of companies coming, consultancy companies, Wipro, and lots of companies comes, right? But in a normal college, you don't expect that many companies will be coming, right? You have to do your own hard work. You cannot be dependent on a TPO or training people or lots of people, right?
Right.
So there was like a placement drive that was happening for Byju's, right? So a few of my seniors, like I would say, I was always connected with my seniors. That is where people help you. So even I don't know them, I used to reach out to them via LinkedIn, via WhatsApp, or any source of channel that, hey, boss, this is the company drive is coming, you are working here, what is your experience? Share me your experience. What questions do they ask, right? So this is where you prepare yourself before your interview, I would say. This is something you should do a proper research. And if you're known or colleagues or any senior or any junior is working there, or he knows some connection where you get a lot of insights, I would say.
Okay.
Because insights are really helpful when you are sitting in an interview. You should not be blank and see. They out of 1,000 people, they will only hire 1, 2, 3, or 5 people max, right? So you have to stand out from that crowd. So how do you stand out that crowd is pre-preparation that you do. Post is something which you cannot handle 100% because anything the interviewer can ask. the pre-work, you can do everything from your side, what you learn, right? So I sat with him. He prepared me like, hey, this might be one question and lots of things like how do you deal with people? Because sales is something like, right? Sales is a job where you really need to convince people and you should have that potential power that you can influence people with your words.
Right.
So I started that thing. I was not able to crack the first interview, I would say, with Byju's. I went off campus. I was like, okay, out of like, I went till last round. They asked me to sell a pen.
Okay.
I was like, shit, how to sell a pen? 2 rupees pen, how to sell people, right? Then I was like, okay. Then I again came back. I rearranged my things, like what went wrong in interview. I reassessed what exactly they asked me and not. Then again, I sat in Byju's interview and then finally I cracked that. Okay. So it was a good learning experience. Like when you join a good company, which is growing on a scale of 4x, 5x or 6x, like Byju's, right, at the company. So then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is something good. I have cracked finally an interview. And during my placement, I only sat in one company, and this was the Byju's company, and that which I thought, okay, this is for me. And then I got a placement.
Okay.
Because during college time, what happens is no one is there to guide you. That is the biggest problem that I've seen with students also. No one is there to guide which path you should select. What is the correct company? What is your interest that you really want to go, right? That is missing, which I really feel. And that's why like I'm always open on LinkedIn or any channels with my juniors or anyone who reaches out to share my experience and knowledge, I would say.
Right.
So I joined Byju's and then, all, like Byju's, Zomato, Uber, Foodpanda for now.
Right. So I think you can, appreciate the, your sense of networking here, because that made you shift your like electrical engineering to this management domains.
Yeah,
your placement to Byju's is has something that have taught you so much, and that like you are currently serving at Foodpanda as an assistant manager here. So definitely, I think what people can perceive here is networking is something that is most essential part of anyone. Apart from the leadership context, management context, and all. So moving ahead, let's talk about your current role at Foodpanda. So like you are currently serving as assistant manager at like vendor insight. So what exactly is this all about? And also like what exactly is APAC that you mentioned earlier?
Okay, so I will just start with what exactly the team is. So like as I told you, right, vendor is basically a restaurant partner or a merchant partner that is onboarded at Foodpanda, right? So you might know the business of this model. So I will just give you a quick intro of the business model. So we are into quick commerce. That is, we have food delivery system, we have Panda Marts, or we have lots of different line of business, right? That is different line of verticals that we have. So I look into APAC. So APAC here is Asia Pacific.
Okay.
So Foodpanda across APAC is in 11 different countries. That is Malaysia, Singapore, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and lots of different countries that we serve to our clients, a consumer, I would say. So in that, there are, like I told you, right, there are 3 different pillars, I would say: consumer, delivery partners, and vendors. That is the merchants, right? So I look into end-to-end part of vendor, that is merchant experience. That can be shops, that can be restaurants, or that can be any new vertical that we join in recent years, or we are going to develop in have in these few years, right?
Okay.
So I will just start with some few basic things. As basically, this was a new role that was set up, or this was a new team that I started. I won't say that, hey, this is something a great achievement, but yeah, it's a great achievement in that self also, because I was the first person leading this team. Because see, customer is always an important for company, because they are the people who generates the revenue for company, right? Because they order, they pay, right? But on a vendor side or a merchant side, they never used to look into that experience, right? Then from central operations side of Foodpanda, they decided that, hey, something really we need to understand what exactly vendors do mean to us, right? Because they are also people who drive business for us. If they are not on the platform, we are not able to serve our customers also, right? So they started with the team. Last year in May, I joined Foodpanda remotely. That was again challenging for me, I would say, because it was altogether a new role. I was given a responsibility to lead entire APAC team. In APAC, I mean like it's 11 different countries that you worked with, different stakeholders, different peoples, and under central operations. That is where I work under central operations. We are the central operations team who handle all local countries also, right? So this was again challenging. But yeah, I told you, right? Always look for challenges and trouble, then only you can succeed, right? So I joined into, I started as a single person working remotely, and I used to work with different stakeholders. Few initial 1 or 2 months were so much of challenges, I would say, because everything was, and building something from scratch is always good, I would say, because if someone has created already the processes, then it takes much time to understand that. But if you start from scratch, you know everything because that you are building and you are adding your efforts to it, right?
Exactly.
So again, team grow up. In November, I moved to Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, and then my team evolved. Under me now there are 5 people, interns, data analysts, and all, right. So if I talk about work, so it's basically we look after the vendor experience part, vendor journey mapping, like how do vendor get onboarded on the platform, how do that front end of the menu looks, that is menu, photos, descriptions, once they are onboarded, right? That is something like once they have been onboarded and live on the platform, if I as a vendor have any issues, let's say I have not received the payment or my device is not working, which channel should I reach, right?
Okay.
There is always an operations team who will be working on support experience part, right?
Right.
There will be some processes. If I as a vendor reach out to your platform, there should be someone to assist me on that issue, right?
Right.
So where there are already processes, right? But we need to optimize that processes in terms of looking into experience part of vendors. So let's say I will just give one example. I as a vendor reach out to you saying my device is not working.
Okay.
And you as a support team say that we will take 2 days to understand the issue, right? But for 2 days, I as a vendor is losing my money because I'm not getting any orders and I'm not online on the platform, right? So there is where my team works. Hey, these are the issues. Why? What is the current processes? How we can optimize the processes, right? So we do insights, deep dives to understand what are the pain points of vendors, right? Pain points of vendors, doing some data analysis, scrubs, seeing the current trends, what exactly different competitors are doing, right? Because might be one competitor is doing good because every vendor is on different competitors, I would say. He's on Uber Eats, he's on Deliveroo, he's on Grab and lots of things, right? And if they're getting business on Grab, they won't do Foodpanda for sure. So we always want to stay top of the vendors, right?
Right.
So I started my journey, like we did some VNPS analysis from -50 to -26. We brought in 2 quarters, the experience part of vendors and insights analysts, optimizing different processes, business processes, project managements, launching new projects for vendors, which are in favor of vendors, I would say.
Okay. I think
there is a lot to say. Because I cannot summarize, right? Because every day you learn and it's not like, hey, every day you are in the same job or you are doing the same thing, because every day here is something you're learning. I say every day you take a new project, you work on something, you implement those. So the best about this role is you own the ownership of the project end to end. You start from scratch, you come up with insights, you plan action planning, and then you go live. So you are the person who take the project as an end-to-end ownership, right? That is where you feel satisfied at the end of the day if it goes live and if it is a success, right? So people appreciate you. Hey, your team has done a good job, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, so kudos to you here, because you're serving a dream job to many. So the thing is, like, many people, many audience who are currently watching this video must be, having some dreams that they must have to settle themselves outside our country, India, and, like based in like maybe other countries like Canada, America, Europe, Malaysia, Singapore. So you're already doing one. So what exactly, do you want to suggest to those people who are interested in pursuing their jobs, their careers in the other countries, how to get into their roles, like how to approach to the companies that are based outside?
Sure. Cool. So I will again in recent past you highlighted that community building is the main thing that we have, right? So I'll just give 3 step points here. How should people approach here? Because this is based on my real experience, I would say, which I have seen and really. So first, I will start with what is not working good. Okay. If you are as an individual who is in final year or something, and then you feel that the campus drive will be coming, I will be getting a job or something, for sure you will be getting a job, right? If some people, if a campus drive is, say, company is coming and you will be getting a job. But what extra efforts you are doing from your side, that is important. Okay. Because you cannot be a TPO from IIM, they will be doing campus drive and I will be getting a job. They will do. That is the one thing. What additional you can do is something that is on you, right? Right. So how I started is I would say my all 3 later jobs like Zomato, but Zomato, Uber, and Foodpanda are all from LinkedIn. Okay. I have a huge connections on LinkedIn, like around 11K of connections on LinkedIn. I always reach out to people, finding for relevant teams or adding more people to understand, hey, I feel, so you should start a conversation. You should never hesitate with people that, hey, if I reach out to him, he might not reply to me or he might not respond to me, right? Right. But at least give it a try, I would say. Okay. Right. So again, in India, if you apply for a job, there are many people who are looking for a job, right? Right. You should make your resume that good that it is any HR or any hiring manager sees it, they feel, hey, yeah, this is the best profile, I should go ahead with it, right? So I'll start with one. Resume building should be always good. Make it short and crisp. It should not be 2 pages, 3 pages, and 4 pages. It should be 1 page or 2 page maximum. Highlight the points that you have really done well. Make them bold or highlight those keywords. Make it short and lots of things, right? Because that gives direct impacts, I would say. Add more technical skills. Add more project management skills, or add your personal skills or interpersonal skills that you have, like project management, communication, stakeholder management, SQL, and lots of things, right? So add those things, because whenever they see these things, hey, this person knows these things. Yeah. See, no one knows what job they have to do in future. Right. No one knows. Okay. Because until unless you jump into that, you have to learn it for sure. By design or by new onwards, you don't know, hey, this is something which I have to start with, right? So make resume good. Next is to reach out to multiple people via LinkedIn, via different channels, via different sources, I would say. Reach out to them, ping them, hey, how are you? Build some connections with them. Don't directly go and ask them, hey, I'm looking for a job. Do you have a role? No, they won't reply. They are not your friends or someone who will reply, right? So just start a conversation with them. Tell about yourself. Hey, I'm studying here. This is my interest. I was thinking that if you have some roles or relevant opportunities, open your company, and that is something that I would say. Wait for some time, keep patience. See, because rejections always happens. Okay. If you apply in 100 companies and you are not getting any success, don't leave it. Always be motivated. See, at least you will get something, I would say. So wait for the right time that has to come. That is the best approach. And moving out of India, see, that is again, right? You have to do your resourcing or searching, I would say, like reach out to people, LinkedIn, their career websites, I would say. Because now what has changed is most of the people, like for one role, thousands of people will apply, right? And all things are now automated using machine learnings and all that. Your resumes get shortlisted via machines, right? That they see these things are there. Okay. One thing which I would say, your resume, you should be able to tweak it based on your roles you are applying. So let's say I'm applying for strategy and planning. Highlight points that are relevant to strategy and planning role. Okay. If you are applying for some data analyst role, highlight those skills which are relevant to that data skill sets. So you should always think that, hey, I want to apply for this role. My resume should be this. You should not say, hey, I am applying for any role and I just share one resume, because no one is going to help in that case. They don't have enough time. Hey, you know this skills. So what you give them, they take it, I would say. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think that will be a great help to the audience. I'm sure about it, because you have touched in a very depth manner regarding the recruitment part. How do they approach to the people? How exactly the LinkedIn people network usually. Yep.
So I think that will definitely create an impact in all of us, even including me. So now, considering the fact, so I just need to thank you. You are currently at the office. I just need to let the audience know that he is currently serving in an office in Kuala Lumpur right now, and also apart from this, he's managing time for this particular podcast. So thank you so much for getting on board with all of us and getting all of us the very experiential insights that you had.
Thanks, Chandan. And like few things to my viewers, I would like to say, like really, I feel that this platform as a Growjunction is really doing something good because I went through their website, their LinkedIn, and I really see that people are watching it. And it is really useful for young people or young engineering students or young MBA folks and any people who are pursuing them and they are not even able to share like where to go, how to get the right approach, I would say. So this is something good to kick off and to start anything. Like initially there was nothing, but now you have such a great platform where you can go and start off something, I would say.
Thank you so much for your kind words.
Thanks.